Absurdity and Optimism. A thorough look at American history reveals the prevalence of dominating American values being used to both shackle and empower. I've been given the opportunity to reflect on American values such as pride, optimism, and independence, and how these values lead into the actions taken to achieve one's American dream. The literature read throughout these modules has been impactful in altering my understanding of being an American and how it impacts the search for a perceived American dream. Before interpreting readings from this past school year, being an American held no more value than the federal paper documents that represent the status of citizenship. This understanding of American culture impressed the idea that being American could be easily revoked, unlike a true culture. Generally, the goal of crafting a culture is to enable humans to connect with each other and search out meaning. However, culture is bound in the ways in which people view themselves in their greater place in society. To claim the title of American is accepting the deeply intertwined loyalty to achieving independence and optimism. Rudyard Kipling's 1899, The Woman's Burden, is an idealized call to the individualism of Americans to overtake the Philippines and contort the indigenous people to Western ideals by taking up the women's burden, a patience to abide, to feel the threat of terror and check the show of pride. Kipling presses the American government to act as saviors of the Filipinos by suppressing the native people's autonomy. Kipling views white Americans as having a better governing body with a stronger sense of pride and an abundant amount of optimism for the Philippines' future. This perverted manipulation of American optimism is contrasted with the artistic revolution of African American hope during the Harlem Renaissance. I Too, by Langston Hughes, 1926, is reflective of the confidence of the American people to seek out change even among the brutal experiences of life as a black man. As the darker brother who eats in the kitchen when company comes, but laughs and eats well and grows strong. Tomorrow, he will be at the table. Hughes holds on to his optimism for an empowered tomorrow as he is assured in the capacity of African Americans to thrive regardless of their oppression. My comprehension of the experiences of oppressed members of American society was challenged this semester as I've been able to recognize my ability to retain my respect for American enthusiasm and pride without holding as an irreproachable entity. Emma Goldman, 1917, on patriotism is a representation of the ability to view America as objective and crowded with failure. However, she notes critics still love America with open eyes. The relation towards America is the same as the relation of a man who loves a woman who is enchanted by her beauty and yet cannot be blind to her defects. The title of a true patriot is earned through the courage to love America while still freely holding America accountable. Overall, without the harsh rebuttal to America's flaws, the hate which has ruled will continue to roam free in the lives of Americans. In a diluted understanding of how the American dream shapes American perspectives on success and failure, I assumed economics would prove irrelevant to the American perspectives of a generic American dream. This has proved incorrect as the value of an American's purpose in the framework of society is degraded by the pressure of the American dream. Ultimately, the American dream's success is typically measured in economic achievements of American individuals. This oppresses the Americans and their overly optimistic nature and their shortened ability to cope with their perceived failure to achieve the unattainable, the American dream. F. Scott Fitzgerald's 1925 The Great Gatsby allures an American audience into gaping at the uncomfortable position of American classes in the suffocating struggle to achieve the out-of-reach American dream. Protagonist Nick Carraway depicts the craving of a grander tomorrow as the American people look for tomorrow to run faster, stretch out their arms farther, and beat on, boats against the current, borne back ceaselessly into the past. Nick understands the redundant nature of fighting for the American dream as depicted by his experiences with Gatsby's demise due to chasing his delusional dreams of Daisy. The hope for the possibilities of tomorrow is outweighed by the economically oppressive realities of the American people in the present. Fitzgerald further cements the death of the false equality depicted in the American dream as he criticizes Americans' arbitrary views on class, as all the people in the world haven't had the advantages that others have had. Nick's description of the unstable power dynamics of America's social class calls for privileged classes to protect the advantages of underprivileged communities. As I rest in a state of financial comfort, I find myself more aware of the festering of my country's hate-riddled history. Moving forward, as an emerging voter, I plan to keep the social and economic stability of oppressed classes within America thriving to push for the support of each American's dream. To summarize, my understanding of being American and the efforts crafted by Americans to achieve the American dream were modeled by the rich experiences of underprivileged Americans. These values and the American aspiration to achieve the accomplishments of being labeled as an American are supported by the persistence of the American spirit. I hope to embrace this virtue for future hopes to be an educated voter and a perpetual student. Thank you.